Hello and welcome to the new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the new Tornadus with the new move Bleakwind Storm. This is going to be an Icy Wind clone as a flying type move, which is actually kinda decent. And we're going to have some battles here on my girlfriend's account because I did a stream earlier and I forgot that this Pokemon is actually going to be released today. And so yeah, we're going to have some battles here. I still did the battles on my own, so like this is my gameplay here, but we are in a little bit of earlier ranks. Is kind of what I want to say with that, because you see as well, Bubble, they did some battles before, but like not that many, and so we're going to have a lot of fun though with that. That's honestly, I feel like for this kind of purpose of showcase, because everybody knows Tornadus is not going to be the better one, like a good one in general now. I feel like it's kind of more nice to have a little bit more fun against some picks that you don't really see. So sit back, enjoy, have a great time here, leave a like at the same time, of course. But here we're going to see something like a Delphox with, is it then headbutt or whatever? It is definitely some funnier stuff where we can see the animation. We can see also that we can farm them down with the Tornadus, and Tornadus actually going to be able to do something now. Like if we would have just played with a normal like opponents, whatever, it would not really look like this. But this is kind of fine, because I think I don't have to tell you that this Pokemon with a new Bleakwind Storm is not going to be the Pokemon that you need for Go Battle League. I still kind of want to take a look at this Pokemon, by the way, for the Master League on my own account, of course, then, because I'm actually going to be able to get the XL candy for this Pokemon. I already have a hundo, and as far as like reports go, you can actually get the Elite, like the move basically immediately with an Elite Charge TM as soon as this Pokemon going to be available in your time zone. Here, of course, you can just get it through a remote raid from time zones where it's already available now. So here we're going to see also a little bit the team. The team is actually really nice around it. I was able to build a Staraptor on her account. That was kind of nice for me. But yeah, she already had the Swampert build, so I was just using this one. And again, it's like a kind of standard team for a flying type. Swampert plus a flying type is just basically pretty standard, but it worked out pretty well, especially with the Raptor as a sales up. Was a little bit more of a spicier pick as well, which I kind of like to have there as well, because we are in a little bit of a lower Eater range. But it is fun to play this Pokemon, and here the opponent decides to forfeit. Next opponent is actually a little bit more tricky, because you're going to see the Primarina in the lead. Primarina going to have access to Charm, and we see already the Raptor is not really having a great time. She actually didn't have a single Shadow variant of this Pokemon, so like it didn't have like a Shadow Starly or whatever laying around, otherwise I would have went for this one, but it's still going to be okay. We're going to see here the opponent getting to a charge move. It's going to be the Hydro Pump. Honestly, I wonder how Primarina going to be with Hydro Cannon, if this Pokemon going to be a little bit more common, because it's still very, very slow. Even if like you're going to go for the Waterfall, which is kind of then similar to something like an Empoleon. Wonder if this Pokemon going to have a little bit more play, but we're going to be able to get the knockout here. But this game actually still going to be way, way closer than you would ever expect. And we have like a lot of fun here. We're going to have the Rayquaza against us, but they of course can go for the Breaking Swipe, which also sadly gonna get the attack drop. So we're forced to go for the Bleakwind Storm immediately, and this move is gonna get the knockout here. But they have the Shadow Tyranitar. Actually, never mind. They have a Tyranitar in the back with Bite, and we have nothing really to go for, but I can still go for the Bleakwind Storm, get the guaranteed attack drop here, and I can still barely reach with a 1 HP in a dream a Hydro Cannon against the opponent and win this game. Next opponent, next Charm user, we're going to have a Togekiss against us, which is going to swap out now into the Venusaur. I can go ahead and go into my Tornadus, and something that I did as well here a lot of times, by the way, I did not always make the smart decisions just based because I kind of wanted to try to showcase the Tornadus as good as possible. So I was using a lot of times not the shields on, for example, something like a Staraptor, just so I can use the shields later on Tornadus, even though of course it's the worst Pokemon that we have here on this team. It was still the one that we kind of want to take a look here with all the Bleakwind Storm debuffs. It is a lot of fun still to play. We can still go for another Bleakwind Storm and get the shield from the opponent, as we have them now double attack dropped. I can go for a Hydro Cannon, which is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. Or never mind, they're actually going to be able to let this move go through here, and so they're still surviving with like 1 HP. Double debuffed, resisted, Ancient Power is not the way, and we have now a Swampert against us, and we have a ton of energy on our own Swampert, and we still have it a full Pokemon in the back there, which is going to be amazing. I can just use a shield here, go for 2 Hydro Cannons, and then farm them down with my Staraptor. So this is going to be an easy game. Hydro Cannon is coming through, I can still go for another one, and now I can even swap out afterwards, and I can even survive a Hydro Cannon onto my Staraptor, and that's going to be a good game. Let's see what the next opponent is going to run. We're going to have the Scizor in the lead, not the Shadow variant, just the standard one. Again here with Bullet Punch, as a Bullet Punch is going to be resisted. This is going to be a decent matchup for us. They decide to go for the Scizor, doing actually way more than I expected. But let's see, we can go for the Hydro Cannon, doing a little bit more actually here. And we can get the knockout if the opponent decides to, yeah, let this go. But they use a shield, and so I can swap out into my Staraptor. They're most likely going to go for the Scizor again, which they do, which is going to be resisted. And in comes now the MEWeedle. MEWeedle does not appreciate the close combat, and this is exactly why I kind of want to use the Staraptor as my say-so, because for those Steel-type Pokemon, for those Ice-type Pokemon, having coverage of the close combat is just amazing. We can go for the full farm down here with our Tornadus, and this is exactly kind of what I meant there as well. I could have most likely did a little bit more there with my Staraptor if I wanted to, but I kind of want to keep my shields for Tornadus. But sadly, they're going to have an Empoleon in the back, and this is a little bit of a trickier matchup. I thought maybe I go for the Focus Blast, but no, I decided to go for the Bleakwind Storm instead, which the opponent decides to let go through, which is kind of awkward. So I should have went for the Focus Blast, but I didn't. I can go for another Bleakwind Storm and get the shield from the opponent. I can go into my Swampert, and luckily the opponent decides to stay in for a little bit here, allowing me to go up a little bit in terms of the energy, as well as I can go for the Hydro Cannon, which is gonna clear the knockout here against the opponent. In comes again the Scizor, and we can actually outspeed them and win this game here. So far only wins with our Tornadus. Of course, I know it's not really that crazy if you're actually usually hitting Legend and then you're currently in like the low-ish starting elo range for, yeah, Legal Battle League. It's not really that crazy, but it's still a lot of fun. We're playing Tornadus here, okay? We are going to have a lot of fun with this Pokemon. We're going to see here as well the Obstagoon against us, which is a Pokemon that I would like to get a little bit buffed. I feel like Obstagoon kinda went missing recently with the recent updates as well. So, there's going to be a video tomorrow, by the way, stay tuned for this one, where I'm going to take a look at 10 potential updates again, which would make a few Pokemon meta again, which would be really cool. So definitely check that video out as well, already recorded, so definitely gonna know that it's going to be released tomorrow. Check that one out when it comes out, but of course, if you want to check it out, feel free to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Here we're going to see the Night Surge coming through from the opponent, which we can still just farm them all the way down. We have 2 Shields Tornadus. I really wanted to hit this Focus Blast, but I was never really able to get into a situation where I really was able to do that, because here, again, we're going to have us against the Charizard. I'm forced to use a shield because I want to just farm them all the way down, but our health is just declining too fast that I'm not going to be able to get there anymore. I actually would be able to get to the Focus Blast, but here, of course, it's better to go for the Bleakwind Storm. So against the Latias, I don't get farmed down, and I can still go for the big Earthquake in time. The opponent goes for their own charge move, but our shield is still there. We can go for the Earthquake, and this is going to take the Latias down, and we can move on to the next one. Again, if I sound a little bit weird, it's just I'm sick, like I'm really sick right now. But yeah, we're going to see here the Swampert swapping in against us, which is okay for us. We will be able to go for our own Hydro Cannon. We have 1 fast move advantage, but he decided to swap out into the Staraptor. The cool thing about the normal Staraptor over the Shadow variant is you're just going to be able to take those moves a little bit easier. If you have a Shadow Swampert against the Shadow Staraptor, it's a little bit more dicey, but I think you still would be able to survive it as well. Here, we're gonna be able to just let the move go through, because again, as said before, this is a Tornadus showcase. I want to showcase Tornadus. I want to use the shields on my Tornadus. And so the opponent swaps out into a Charizard. I can go for the Bleakwind Storm, and so I can get the attack drop again onto the opponent, doing a ton of damage, as I can swap out into my Swampert to catch the opponent's Dragon Claw. This is going to do not as much damage. I can still go for Hydro Cannon, but I decide to overfarm instead, as the opponent is debuffed and only can go for resisted damage here with the Blast Burn. I can nearly go up to 2 Hydro Cannons, as this should knock them out anyway. Don't think they use a shield. They do not use a shield, and we will see what they have in the back here. It is going to be the Muk, which is actually really good for me, and I can go for the Earthquake straight away, hoping that they would let this move go through, but they don't. So here again, we kind of want to try to win this game with our good friendly Tornadus Therian form, as we will be able to just let those moves go through. It is again a showcase for Tornadus, so we are not really caring too much about our other Pokemon. We're gonna just try to gust them down here today. We will see the opponent going for a Dark Pulse, and they're also going to swap out into the Swampert, as they can still reach another charge move. I was a little bit scared for the first point there, but I can actually still survive it. And we can go for the Bleakwind Storm to win this game again with the Tornadus. Good game there. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to have the Myotic in the lead, which is something that you also barely really face anymore. It was actually pretty common, pretty decent back in the day before we had XL Pokemon available for the Ultra League. Very cool saves up there, having access to Dragon Tail plus the Surf as a coverage move plus like Blizzard or Hyper Beam is actually making this Pokemon really cool. Hopefully Niantic buffs Myotic a little bit. I feel like this would be also like a fan favorite kinda, which like a lot of people would like to see a little bit more common again. There are a lot of options that what he can do there. For example, I think it learns Icy Wind or whatever as well. It definitely learns Breaking Swipe, which would be really cool for this Pokemon as well. But we can go for the full farm now then, so we're gonna be able to get a ton of energy. The opponent tries to make here a cheeky catch onto that Como, but it does not work out. And so we also see here that they are not running Dragon Tail, they're running a Poison Jab, which is actually not even that much worse, which is kind of funny, but it is a little bit worse. So like here we're going to see as well, Bleakwind Storm going to be able to knock them out. Yeah, I should have maybe used the shield here just because it's a showcase for the Tornadus, of course, but yeah, it's just play it safe here. I can just go for 2 Hydro Cannons, and so I will be easily able to win this game, as the opponent has nowhere really to go. I guess Bleakwind Storm would have also worked out well, but let's move on to the next opponent here. Next opponent is going to have the Reg Gigas in the lead, which kind of showcases already what we're kind of facing here. I think this was like the only one where I was like, what the hell, like what am I even looking at? But yeah, we're gonna be able to go for another Hydro Cannon here, which is going to force a shield if they want to go for their own charge move, but apparently they want to use the Reg Gigas here in the Ultra League. Great job there, trainer. We will see the Giga Impact. God, I should have actually let this move go through just to respect the Reg Gigas a little bit. But yeah, the opponent swaps into their Katana, which I just figured out by the fast move damage, which is kind of wild. But I can just go ahead, swap out into the Staraptor, knock them out. Like, we're just going to make this one a little bit easier because the opponent apparently does not really know what they're doing here at all. They have the Air Slash variant of the Charizard in the back as well. So, like, this was like the only opponent which I felt like had like literally zero clue about PvP. So, a little bit sorry I feel about this one, but yeah, it's going to be fine. We can still win this game with our Tornadus. So, good job there, Tornadus. Exactly what we wanted to. Final battle, we will see here the Swampert against the Swampert action. This is going to be, of course, a very nice mirror. You can just go straight for the Hydro Cannon. The opponent wins the CMP tie here. Most likely they have just like some raid IVs, I thought, but yeah, like they're also running Muddy Water, so that's kind of an interesting one here. But yeah, like what can I say, Of course, this is not really representing the true power of Tornadus in the Ultra League, because we went actually 10-0 with this team, which I could put into the title, but then I would feel bad. I mean, if I would be like those kind of Rection type style YouTuber, oh my god, 10-0 with Tornadus or Theory with the move Bleakwind Storm, I could have done that, but like honestly, like I would feel a little bit bad about this. Would be like actually clickbaiting in my opinion. I know a lot of people think, oh yeah, kind of baity titles or whatever, but that's not really clickbaiting. I always put basically into the title, so it's actually in the video. I mean, it would be actually in the video, but you know, I don't really want to kind of put something like this in the title. But yeah, again, this is not really showcasing directly how good this Pokemon would be. It is pretty bad. It is, honestly, it was by far the worst Pokemon that I played from this kind of team here. But it still was a lot of fun, and so I feel like a lot of times Go Battle League is a little bit too try-hard meta recently, so having a little bit of fun in the Go Battle League was definitely something that I enjoyed quite a bit. If you enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. Otherwise, I'm gonna see you tomorrow for some videos as well, and until then, bye bye.